Well, I mean, this isn't a podcast about ball shots. This is a fudgy thing. America's only Midwest drunk paranormal podcast. Today, we are. Today we're drinking a lot of stuff. We're drinking some pickle beer. We got some Pecatonica.
Cheers.
We got some Ab 12. We have some Tremens. We also got some gin and some horseradish.
When you say we have some, you mean we had some.
No,
yeah,
we have the
We're out
horseradish.
of half of what he just said.
We're also out of sake.
Yeah.
No! Oh, no.
Well, anyway,
I think it's only our first one of the night, which we only ever do one a night.
Yeah, why would we do more than that?
That'd be irresponsible, right?
I think I'm supposed to introduce you fellers, so I'll start with the ever so jetsy Jason Smith.
I got a fun one. Well, it's maybe not that fun, but it's sciencey, so.
Okay.
This is just an introduction. Don't start yet.
We got the not a scientist, Isaac Sagafis.
I'm interested in what Jason has to sell me.
And then we have the actual scientist, Josh Quinn.
I have one that is going to probably scare Isaac.
No one asked, and I don't want to hear it.
We only do one a night, so we won't know what that is, Josh.
Yeah,
one a night. One a night. Jason, it's your turn for the night. What do you got for us on this nice, February morning, I think, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even March?
Mid-February,
No,
maybe.
guys, it's January.
Yeah. Hush.
Shut the
Whoa.
Don't say that word. Jason, hit us with your story, baby.
So I was inspired by this story because one of the last times we were recording and everything, seeing Isaac just like wolf down a bunch of pizza rolls and tater tots, like I just felt like this reminded me of a story I remember hearing when I was really young, and I figured I would bring it all to you guys today.
Are you going to refer to me as some sort of mythical creature? Or maybe, perhaps, goddess that came down from the skies and I'm handsome? Huh?
I mean...
You're neither a goddess nor are you handsome. Jason, keep going.
All right. So, speaking of eating stuff and whatever...
Why is it me?
What?
If you would listen to me,
You were speaking of it, Jason.
I was listening, Jason.
You were speaking of it.
At least Josh knows what's going on. He's a good friend. Okay.
Man, what did I do wrong?
Do you know how stomachs work?
Food go in, poop come out.
But like there's some stuff in between, right?
Acid.
My esophagus?
My man.
I think there's also beer in there.
Basically got that.
Yes.
Well,
Now there is.
For
Or
the
alcohol.
four of us, there's a lot of beer and alcohol. However,
Really?
No, I don't drink.
Yes.
I'm abstinent.
there's a guy.
Not on purpose.
Wait, are we talking about sex or drink?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely don't do one of those things.
All right.
Oh, man.
So this story doesn't really have either of those two things. However,
Why are we talking then?
well, we got William Beaumont, who is known
William.
as the father of gastric physiology, and a fellow Canadian fur trapper, Alexis St. Martin.
So
So a beaver
He's a-
man and a fart
he's
scientist.
a fart scientist that studies.
Why do you guys get
Beaver.
farts out of that?
It's more of like a stomach science.
It's like your
That's
gut.
where farts come from. I think I'm not a
okay.
scientist. Actually.
So, one of the primary guys of this story, William Beaumont, he was born out east and something in about like 1875, give or take, like late 1700s. And kind of like what we said about another episode, back then, a lot of people were just kind of like doctors, scientists,
Dr. Barber.
lawyers, and like all sorts of like other things. But he was in the Civil War, really well known for being a surgeon. After all, or maybe not Civil War, maybe some Indian War.
I was going to say, if he was born
Just
in...
some Indian war, Jason.
Well,
Yeah, that was really
were a
Can you
couple
narrow
of them
that down a little bit?
there was a lot of those.
Yeah, dates are hard. Okay?
And this is our fact checker? This is our fact checker.
yeah. Who's gonna?
I got you.
fact check me?
I got
Okay.
you.
So
Check him, Tyler. Check him. Check his facts.
after some time in the army, around like the 1820s, our man William Beaumont was stationed then at Fort Michilimackinac. So, for people who don't
Near
know,
the bridge.
basically, like there is an island by the Straits of Mackinac in Michigan, very strategic location, and there was a long-standing like fort there, way back from even like French days, British days, and then it was like then surrendered to America and everything like that.
For our listeners who don't understand the two Michigans, that's where the two Michigans touch tips.
Well, they don't touch, though. There's a
bridge
5-mile
touches
difference
them.
between them. But that's
Bridge.
where we now have a bridge.
Bridge.
Yes,
But-
bridge.
So, on a fateful day in June of 1822, an employee of the American Fur Company who was stationed on Mackinac Island, who was named Alexis St. Martin, he was maybe accidentally shot in the stomach at close range by a shotgun.
By a beaver pelter.
What an accident.
Or was he a farter?
Well, he was
Oh,
Like
man,
a-
I really got to scratch my belly button.
Oh my God.
fur trapper, voyager, like when they had like cool job titles. Like,
People
I'm a
used to
voyager.
live back then.
Exactly, right?
What would our job titles have been back then, Jason? What would Tyler have been? Admiral Fart Basket?
Probably. You would be like a black magician or something with all the electricity stuff that you do.
Black
That's like-
magician.
That's what I am.
And
What's
what did-
Josh?
what
He's
did
a
me-
criminal.
What
He's
is
a
me,
criminal.
Jason?
You ferment stuff, so probably
Farter.
some beer guy.
Farter.
What's his name? He's just a fart.
He's the
Admiral
town
Farter.
farter. He's got an important job.
Well, that's
Jason would
good
be a
because this
diplomat.
story is about the fart doctor.
So after our man Alexis St. Martin was accidentally shot with some buckshot, it kind of blew out a couple ribs into his torso, and he wasn't really doing so good.
Was it actually a shot?
No, you got to remember,
Was it actually a shot?
Tyler.
Was it a blunderbuss?
Tyler, he's
probably
French.
closer to a
Oh, yeah. Oh, la, la.
Now, if you got shot by a
probably more
blunderbuss,
like
Oh, ah.
from Quebec or something like
Hey,
Oh,
what's
my
the one thing?
pussy.
can he say that?
Well,
he
yeah,
can't
yeah,
now.
that. It's in there now.
That's French for stomach.
So Beaumont,
Sure.
Walter Beaumont treated some of the injuries, and basically everybody just expect him to die because, like, you shoot somebody in the like torso with a shotgun, they're
Back then,
probably not going to make it.
infections.
Well, the good old Lord must have been smiling on our friend Saint Martin, and he somehow ended up making it through. However, he had a massive hole in the side of his like torso
Permanently?
that healed. So where like there was like a fistula into his stomach, kind of like what you would see with like cows.
Yeah.
So he had a window.
We're familiar with those.
Yeah.
He had a window into his stomach.
Well, except there wasn't really like any barrier. It was
Yeah.
just kind of like open.
Open
him.
stomach.
His stomach was just open to everything.
Look at that sunset through your tummy, baby.
And back in like 1822, like this kind of thing had like never recorded to have been happened at all.
Yeah, how did it not get infected? That's crazy.
How old was he when this happened? Does it say?
I could probably do some digging.
Imagine how much you can make at a circus.
About probably like 30s, like or
Hate
so.
circuses.
I don't care that you hate us.
Yeah, people would come up.
What does that matter?
People would come up, and you could be like,
Look at my tummy.
throw a penny in this guy's tummy hole.
that's like
and then
saying-
he'd shit out a whole dollar.
That's like saying that you could make money right now with a colostomy bag attached to you.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Look at
Yeah.
my I had that happen one time. I almost gave the guy money because I was like, get away from me. That's where we grow.
He had a poop bag.
Yeah, he showed
You
me.
want it? Why was he
almost
showing
gave
you?
him
I
his
know. He's
money?
like, look at my bag.
What?
I forget what city I was in. I was pretty drunk. And I was like, why would you do that? And it was filled with poo. Yeah.
God.
I didn't like it.
So
That's what I think of circuses.
What?
That's why I'll never go to a circuit.
What?
this might need
That
to be a
should
separate
that should be a
episode,
separate
like-
podcast. Bag boy.
Bag boy. The story of
Were you
West
not with
Gate.
me when that guy came?
Why would I would remember that.
Dude, where was it? Carry on with your story.
Yeah, okay. So basically, since he had a giant hole in his chest and like he couldn't end up working as like a fur trapper anymore.
Yeah, because the beavers will crawl in there and make a dam.
So kind of he was hired on like kind of as like a servant, but it's just like, hey, this is kind of neat. We're just gonna like, keep you around and give you kind of like a wage while you're here. Just to
Yeah,
kinda-
look, we collected this weirdo. Dance
Exactly.
for us, weirdo.
So Beaumont later explained in a paper that the shot blew off fragments of like not only his muscles, ribs, and everything like that. And after some like bleeding, cauterizing around the area, like there was a lot of like documented stuff about how it's like, hey, he's still like hanging around. Like we fully expect him to die.
Yeah.
like, 2
When will
weeks
you
ago.
die?
And
I bet my whole
They-
life
as
savings
they were,
is
like,
gonna die this
you
week.
know, once he kind of like came back to and was kind of hanging around, like they were like, okay, here's like some food, like, you know,
Stop throwing
stew, bread,
popcorn in my
whatever.
gut.
Everything would end up like coming out
Dude.
the new like hole in his like side.
If that happens,
So they had to lay down weird when he ate so it
Yeah.
would digest?
And like it would come out like really like broken down and just like disgusting.
Ah.
So it's like,
Did anyone
like,
try to
huh.
have intercourse with his hole?
Why would you
I don't know
Why
about
would you
that.
say that?
I don't know. People do that these days. Tyler. They're
Oh
weird.
my God.
But basically,
I
after
hope people
17
don't do
days, it finally began to like heal up and adapt enough where things that he was eating were just kind of going through normally after that. So Beaumont recognized that in St. Martin, there is very unusual opportunity to deserve like what's going on. At that point, there was a lot of like uncertainty if it was like a mechanical, chemical, like how digestion even works. Like food goes in, poop comes out. Like what's the black magic in between?
They actually thought it was mechanical for a little bit.
Yeah, where
In the
you
human
Like
body?
it just kind of squished everything and ground
you
it up.
just chew it up enough, and then that took everything out of it, basically. So Beaumont was
I guess.
started doing experiments with digestion where they would end up putting food on a string and just shove it into the hole, and every couple of hours
Seriously.
Cycle blue, my food hole.
they'd be like, no, this has been 1 hour. I'm going to pull it back out, take a look at it, and then put it back.
So
and then like,
it's permanently open wound because they keep messing with it.
They're poop fishing.
well,
They're
it
fishing for
basically
different
healed
depths
to a
of
point,
poop.
though, like because like with all the scar tissue and whatever, it was just permanently open. no
That
matter
has to
what.
kind of hurt.
And you would still think it could get infections easier.
Imagine
Yeah.
a poop getting pulled out of your butt back into your stomach and then out of a hole in your stomach.
That's not possible. It's not physical.
It's in his stomach though, not his intestines.
Yeah, so it at that
They pulled it out like an hour later.
well,
It won't
at
be in your
different time
intestines.
points. Like there,
Yeah,
there
that's
were
miles.
so like they would like observe like what happened to the samples of food that they put in and like what happened over
These
time.
people were twisted.
They also
It tastes a
extracted
lot different
samples
now.
of the gastric acid from his stomach and like would put that on stuff to be like, oh, what happens if we put it on stuff outside of the stomach?
They
And
didn't
then,
eat it, did they?
to my knowledge, no.
So did they have I know they had a doctor, surgeon, voyager, but did they have a chemist working on this too?
No, this is just some random army base in the middle of like
Okay.
BFE that is on an island in the middle of Lake Huron in like the 1820s. Like there ain't nothing.
There
So
wasn't
they
there,
were just-
there wasn't a chemist barber.
They were just
Maybe
screwing.
in bigger cities like New York or
Yeah,
something.
were
well,
just
with
but-
hair
screwing-
falls in it.
They were
Not-
just
not
screwing
around
with
here.
the freak they had captured on this island.
Well, they gave him a wage to be a servant to the
My servant's got a hole
doctor,
in his tummy.
surgeon.
Yeah, come poke it with a stick.
Did they ever put anything live in his stomach?
Like a
Yeah.
grenade.
I don't know about that. They
A
did,
mouse?
like vegetables
Squirrel?
were digested a lot more slowly than meat. Milk would coagulate.
What about
like,
corn?
Really early in the digestive
We
process.
all
you
know
can't tie up milk.
Yeah, what about corn?
But you could like put the gastric acid on milk outside.
Okay,
okay.
Or you could like kind of like put it in and fish out like the chunks of like the whey and stuff. Like that.
Yeah.
What about corn?
And I didn't see anything about corn, but they did say vegetables. But I'm guessing corn would kind of get broken down, but you still get.
I
like,
kept some corn that I
we-
passed earlier. You want to see it in the bag?
We
That's
all
what I'm
know
saying,
what
like,
happens to
there's
corn. The
kernels
answer is
that
nothing.
Kind of like, well, like you can
The
smash
starches.
Up, yeah, you that. But
The
like,
starches are
outside
gone.
of it just kind of sticks around for later.
I use it later.
They noticed that like there's some like churning
What does that
motion
mean?
going on in the stomach as they're like watching it, and like they did a lot
Jason,
of.
what
Like,
does that mean? Why does he use it for later?
I don't want to think about it.
I don't.
I feel like skeevy.
I feel dirty.
We have an episode about tummies and
Yeah,
poop.
what the? Actually, what is this about? This is about a guy with a hole in his stomach. And
This is about a poop monster.
It's weird history in the Midwest.
you're talking
Come
about
on.
cramming things in this guy's
is-
hole and
this is
figuring
about-
out what
this
it
is
comes
about-
out like.
This is
When-
how we learn.
When does the ghost show up?
This is about a mad scientist and a mutant
He's walking
guy-
living on
around.
an island
This
in
guy
the middle
has
of Lake
to be,
Michigan.
This guy has to be a ghost.
Yeah.
So a
The
couple
leaking
months
tummy
later,
ghost.
St. Martin ran
Put
away
it in
and
me.
tried to get into Canada, leaving Beaumont to concentrate on his duties as an army surgeon. However, he did have connections in the army. So they ended up finding St. Martin like trying to cross the border, and then they
So they couldn't leave this poor guy.
him.
So he was a pet creature.
Yeah, he was.
the guy with the hole.
Poor guy.
Look at that hole. Look at it.
Like he tried to escape the island of guys tying stuff.
Guys,
and
I got
throwing him.
shot in the stomach. Just leave me alone.
Your stomach hole is too interesting. We must study you.
No,
So
stick
it
my
was
finger
like a
in
couple
your
years later, in like
stomach.
1826, like
Just
Beaumont
lie
was
still
transferred
as
to
I
Green
put
Bay
this whole
and
piece
ended
of
up
chicken in
bringing
your
his
stomach
servant
hole.
with him.
I didn't. So I've heard the story. I never realized this was the Midwest. I thought this was
either.
like the Civil War down south.
Oh, this was like one of the things I remember seeing a ton. Because, like, growing up, we would always go to Mackinac Island in the summers, and you can see the fort around there, and there's so much cool history. There's, like, ghosts and terrifying stuff on the island that we'll get to at other times, but this is just, like, one of
This
the
is just a real life thing.
weird... Yeah, like, there's no debating that this didn't happen or not. This actually happened and everything. So... drug him along into Green Bay at the fort there. There was another transfer about like 4 years after that when Beaumont was transferred to St. Louis. And then en route, St. Martin was like basically like stopped again and was like, no, you need to continue with them and you are like forced to stay with him.
I want to know the age of this guy from the start to finish, how long he was like a guinea pig.
I want to
Yeah.
say it was like late 20s to like the rest of it.
That's not you, Isaac, because you're way too old
well,
for
maybe
that.
not like the
I'm
rest of
old
his
as-
life, but like he still had,
I'm
like,
in
the
my
whole for the rest of his life.
mid-20s.
So
One second,
basically-
Jason. We have to open up a very nice Pecatonica beer. Isaac's got a Nightfall lager right there that looks very tasty. Pecatonica, the thirst quencher. Carry on.
But anyways, there were multiple escape attempts by St. Martin, and eventually he did end up getting away. And Beaumont was kind of just hanging out there in like St. Louis. He published all of his accounts of the experiments as like, I think it was called Experiments and Observations on Gastric Juice, Physiology of Digestion.
So he wrote a paper on it.
Yes. And,
How did papers work back then? I know peer-reviewed.
Quail.
Oh, you just kind of like wrote up all your stuff and had all your neat little drawings in there, and that's just kind of science.
So how did it get published?
Quail.
He just put it out there and all the doctors ran with it because like nobody else had ever looked at like stomach juices and anything like that.
Okay.
He wrote it with a quail feather.
So St. Martin, after some time, finally got back to Quebec and like,
Are all his stories about Canada? Does he not know this is the Midwest?
don't even think I've like talked about
No,
Canada
no,
before.
no,
You said
no,
Canada
no.
3
Did you see-
times.
Did you see what he just
You
did?
just put a pickle beer in a peck?
Yeah,
Heckle beer.
that's
Pickle beer.
terroristic.
It's a
Pickle tonica?
Pecatonica.
Heck you,
Beer.
Jason.
But even after he let him go and he escaped to Quebec, like Beaumont was like writing him letters and just trying to like pester him to come back to St. Louis, and it never ended up happening. Like for the next 20 years.
Why would he go back?
Think
Okay.
about how hard your
But
life
also-
must have been to escape
He had
to Canada.
Well,
You
multiple
escaped to
escape attempts.
Canada.
Right.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like,
Just
this
leave
was
me
just
alone.
a normal guy who suffered
Stop
an
messing with my hole.
Yeah. I got shot in the stomach.
This is just a normal guy who suffered a terrible workplace
Listen,
accident.
He would not
And
have.
then some evil doctor kept him prisoner on an
Josh.
island for years.
Because all he
Josh.
wanted to do was be free and hunt beavers.
Josh, what do you think?
We
would
all want to
happen-
hump beavers,
What do you-
Jason.
What do you think would have happened if he went to school at Blackhawk?
He'd be one of us. He'd be here right
Yeah,
now.
He'd be hosting
He
this
would have
podcast.
tried to escape to Canada.
No.
You weird mother.
You weird mother.
You went to Canada last year. I saw you up there.
no.
I seen
I'm
you.
one of them.
I seen you.
You
talked
went to
some.
Canada last year too.
Oh!
Does that mean we got holes in our stomach? What is this story? Tell us, Jason.
All I'd
What's
say,
the moral of the story
do you
here?
guys believe in karma?
Yes.
I hope not, because we're screwed.
Josh?
I'm
I-
Catholic, so I just believe everything you do is bad.
Yeah, God's punishment will get you.
Yeah.
Fair.
Basically, I'm screwed.
You're screwed?
Yeah.
Well,
That's Catholic.
Beaumont later then died in 1853 at the age of 67 in St. Louis because he slipped on some ice-covered steps. So with this being the middle of summer, everybody, salt your driveways, salt your steps, be
That
careful.
poor mother.
But he lived to be 67, though.
No,
true.
this is
But
the doctor.
constantly getting fingered.
No, the other guy,
this
the
is the
doctor
doctor,
died.
This is the evil doctor.
Oh.
The evil doctor.
Did the other guy at least have a hot wife and live a long life?
I want to believe he did.
Okay, yeah, let's believe it. All right, Isaac. We're gonna. You look very concerned. What do you think of this whole situation? I mean, it's not a whether you think it's true or not, because it's true. But what do you think happened to poor old whole stomach boy?
Think about it. Like, we wouldn't know like nearly as much about.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, was it good? Was it good that they used him as a guinea pig to learn about all this? What do you think about that?
If he was willing to do so and he was getting paid for it, then perhaps
He was getting paid.
But was he getting paid enough? Was it good?
Probably not.
I don't think anybody was getting paid good back then.
I think that's fine as long as he's okay with it,
Army
which is
wages
fine.
Back in the day.
It's fine for a year or two, right? But not as
it was like
majority of his youth. That's messed up.
Yeah.
And how much other weird stuff was happening to that poor fella just at the tavern?
What is your butthole?
Hey, Kevin! Hey, come over here. Let's drink a beer through Kevin's hole. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Weird stuff.
I get it. I get that. I guess, Josh, what do you think about this story? I mean, is it good that they did this?
Wait, what year was that?
Scientist.
Did they have hams back then?
They cut him off a pig.
Almost. No, not quite then.
Not quite.
They didn't have hams yet.
So he was 20 when he got shot.
Dude,
Oh, that's even worse.
So
That's even worse.
They robbed him of his whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, back then, though,
he
life
did-
expectancy was probably 36, but still.
But he lived to 78.
Without.
Oh, so he lived longer than the doctor.
yeah.
Okay.
He was longer than the doctor, but also with a giant hole in his.
Hey,
Wait, so he was born in 1822.
Yep.
So he lived
1802.
Oh, sorry. He didn't quite make it to 1900. Dang. But I can't believe that the army just let some weird doctor detain this guy as a test.
Not just a guy. A
you
Canadian.
can't believe that's the part you don't believe?
It wasn't
Yeah,
just a
I
guy. It
don't
was
actually-
a Canadian.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
Yeah.
All right, we're skipping you, Josh. Jason, what do you
Seriously,
think?
Josh, what the F, yo?
U.S. Army just gave this Canadian man a living wage in order to promote science. This sounds like a good humanitarian.
Damn.
As long as they give him a house and a hot wife.
They did neither of those things.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. I'm sure he found a hot wife with the hole in his stomach. I'm
wanna
Tyler
believe
Quinn.
that he did.
I don't really care what I think, but we wonder what you think.
Wait, Tyler,
This
you never
is-
said what you think.
Because they don't care about it, baby. We're drinking Peck. We are drinking pickle beer. We're drinking sake. We're all out of sake. We're also maybe out of gin. What the hell's wrong with us?
How are
This-
we out of gin?
We're
No,
not
we got a
out
lot
of
of gin. This is Oh What You Think.